What is up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Noel Jinguli and today I'm gonna be introducing you guys to a new basketball scented brand that I just found out a few weeks ago. So if you've already read the title, I'm sure it's not a surprise that these are actually called the Tarmak Protect 100s. And Tarmak, from my research, is actually a French sportswear company. They specialize in selling and producing apparel, equipment for basketball actually. And I actually found these from a site called Decathlon, which they themselves are just like Sports Direct, but they focus more on affordable sports items and from brands that aren't really famous. So that's why I'm featuring Tarmak in today's video. These are actually the cheapest basketball shoes that I've ever bought. And why don't you guys try and take a guess and leave your guess down in the comments and let's see who can get it right. One hint that I can give you guys is these don't cost less than 50 ringgit or more than 100 ringgit. So good luck to you guys. And before I start with the rest of the video, let me just remind you guys to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. So let's do this. Today's video I'll be doing things a little bit different because there's not really much to talk about this shoe tech wise because it really has minimal tech specs. There's not much to the shoe. The construction is really simple. You can see how simple it looks, and honestly I like how, and honestly they look pretty good to me, especially for the price. So let's just start off with what I actually like about this shoe, which is the traction. They're not the best yet, they're not the worst, they're just decent. Yes, they can be better, but I just feel like this is enough traction for someone to play in, especially if they are just starting out. The traction pattern actually consists of two things, which is a radial pattern and a bladed pattern, and they actually provide good traction for all the types of movements that you implement in your play style. They do have a pivot point right under the balls of your feet and under your heels, so that is a plus. Another thing that I like is how comfortable they feel on feet. The material is really soft. To put simply, they are just made out of a synthetic or even maybe a vinyl type of material. The material is really soft and you don't even have to break them in to actually feel how comfortable they really are. This shoe features a mesh tongue for breathability and the heel is also padded for your comfort. So another thing that I actually like is the stability, meaning that the outsole is flat and you actually feel stable running around in these, moving around. However, they don't feature the typical traditional outrigger, so if you are really looking for that outrigger, I'd consider something else. Now moving on to the things that actually I really don't like in these. I'm gonna start that off with the rubber of the outsole. Simply put, the whole outsole is just plain rubber. It actually has a cup sole, so to add to that flat outsole shape, that cup sole actually cups your foot well and provides that extra bit of stability. If I'm relating it to what I like. What I don't like is how thin the rubber is, because connecting it or relating it to the cushion, this just isn't good enough. Come on Tarmak, even for the price that these are, you could have done better, because there is no midsole at all in these. They just feature a really thin insole and that's it. The only thing protecting your feet from the ground is that rubber outsole and that thin midsole. So you see where I'm going with this. It doesn't have any impact protection at all. Even though if you do like that court feel, these aren't really good enough because you will eventually injure yourself and hurt your feet in the long run when you play in these for too long. Again, with that lack of midsole, the fit is really bad in these. I mean, honestly, lengthwise and widthwise, these actually fit good for me. They actually fit perfectly with those two parameters. But these have a really sloppy fit to them, and they feel really hollow, and you can just feel that when you walk around in these. The first time I walked in these, the first time I played in these, I can just hear the hollowness of the whole shoe. It's just really disappointing. And combined with that outsole, it's really clunky as well. Although it has that flat outsole, the heel isn't really rounded that you have a good transition from heel to toe. That contributes to the clunkiness of the whole shoe. So even if I were to recommend you going a full size down, I just don't think with that lack of midsole that these would actually play well, or these would actually feel comfortable under your feet. Don't get me wrong, I like how the upper actually feels, but without the midsole, you just won't be comfortable in these. One thing you might do, or you can do, is maybe replace the insole with something better, but honestly, I just don't think it would work. Lastly is the durability. These things, for how much they cost, and I'll reveal to you guys, these cost 69 ringgit. So if you got that right, good for you. But for that price, how Tarmak actually produced these is a bit disappointing, honestly. The materials, again, as comfortable as they are, I just don't think they would last very long. Even with that hard rubber outsole, from my first time playing in these, the rubber actually frayed already. So you just have to keep that in mind. If you are curious like me, the best I could say how these actually feel like playing in these, cushion wise, they feel like a pair of Converse Chuck Taylors, but the rest are totally different. Even Chuck Taylors fit perfectly on my feet. They fit snug, and I really like playing in them from my past experience. Even without that support that the canvas upper provides from a Chuck Taylor, you actually feel secure in it. And that's my last point. The last thing that I don't like about this is actually the support. The upper doesn't provide any support whatsoever. It all comes from that outsole, and how that outsole cups your feet and how it keeps you stable. That's all the support that it provides. Now, I might contradict myself here because I personally actually like these. Why? Because of how Tarmak actually markets these. They sell these, or they market these to beginners. And for most beginners, these are actually pretty good for the price. I know some of you out there who are just starting out and trying to start your basketball journey, looking for a pair of shoes that's quite comfortable to play in. But I also understand that the basketball shoe market is a really expensive market, and it's really overwhelming to most beginners out there because you don't know what you're actually looking for. And these will show you just that. So for beginners, if you actually try these for the first time, you'll know what you're gonna be looking out for in the future. Because of that lack of cushion, you'll either know if you like court feel or a really thick cushion for those impact protection. You'll know the perfect type of fit you like on your feet when you experience these first. And that's why I think that Tarmak has done good when it comes to marketing these for beginners out there. They know that this isn't good enough for players who are really experienced with all the movements, with all the footwork. Maybe you're the Westbrook type, you love to drive in. These won't provide that type of support for you. But if you're the beginner who just likes to shoot around, you don't know how to do a layup, you're still learning, you don't know how to drive in properly, these are still perfect for you. That's why I like them. I personally like how comfortable they are and how they look. But for players who are experienced in playing basketball for a few years now, I cannot recommend these to you. But at the end of the day, even though I like these and I like how Tarmak actually markets them, I will still be confused as why they would call these the Protect 100s because no cushion, no support, no protection. So that's it for the review, guys. Make sure to leave your comments down below if you have any questions about these. Don't forget to again subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. My name is Noel Jinguli and see you all in the next one. Bye!